All right, you guys know what it is, man. It is draft season, and tonight we're talking about the top 25 players on my board in the Big Board 2.0. Now, I did 25 players this year. I actually did 50 players this year, but I'm doing a top 25 board, and then when we get to the draft, I'm going to release my top 36. And I do 36. I want to cover the entire first round and a few extra, couple padded players that maybe will jump up into that first round. Now, tonight, we're just talking about number 25, and this player could absolutely end up in Detroit. Let's get right into it. That's right. Defensive end, Akheem Mesidor. All right, let's break this guy down. All right, here we go, man. Akheem Mesidor is kind of this draft darling, right? 25 years old, but versatile wrecking ball while he's been in Miami. Technical savant. Absolutely weaponizes his deep pass rush toolbox. Cross chops, Euro steps, swipes, you name it. He's developed it. 5 seasons, you would think at University of Miami would help you do that, right? He produced 12.5 sacks, 17.5 tackles for loss. In 2025, he's operated next to Akheem Mesidor, kind of living in his shadow. And quite honestly, I like a lot of what Akheem Mesidor brings to the table versus Ruben Bain. Mesidor posted a very dominant 20.8 pass rush win rate in 2025. One of the most dominant percentages out of the entire collegiate league there, if you will. So, whiteboard interviews, man. When he was interviewed down at the Combine, I spoke to a few scouts, and they said he just absolutely gave a schematic clinic. I mean, very fluent, articulated the gap exchange principles, protection manipulation against multi-front looks, and that's what you're looking for, man. Especially, an older or elder statesman, if you will, of this year's pass rush class. You would hope that he can come in ready to go. Daniel Jeremiah. He thinks that Mesidor was a highly productive edge rusher for the Hurricanes. He has an ideal frame, relentless motor, and pass rush instincts. Against the pass, his game is more about power than pure speed. I would definitely agree with that. He will shake, bull tackles, knock their hands off, and push-pull for pressures. Once he creates separation, he corners and bends their trajectory towards the quarterback. We call that flattening out, right? You want to flatten down towards the quarterback. You can find these workups on DetroitFootballJournal.com. This is the workup that I did here on Akheem Mesidor. Primary eval conflict centers around his runway. And honestly, it's the medical history for Akheem Mesidor. 25-year-old rookie with a history of bilateral foot surgeries. Some scouts question how much the physical growth still remains for a 6-year senior. Measuring in at 6'3", 265 pounds. He definitely has the requisite height and size. The 32 1/8 inch arms, obviously it falls below the functional length that you're looking for. He lacks the premium length to consistently win on the perimeter through pure athletic bend. That's what you're going to ask him to do. But up against the bigger tackles, he's going to struggle. So this forces a heavy reliance on his second effort motor, his counters, the technical refinement to stay productive against the longer-limbed NFL tackles. If you know me by now, you know I'm all about the length, man. All right, Daniel Jeremiah again says when he's allowed to rush inside over guards, he wins very early in the down. He never stops working his hands and refuses to stay blocked. Against the run, he has enough length and a powerful enough base to firmly set the edge. Against offensive tackles, and consistently annihilates tight ends. Overall, Mesidor is a better version of the 2025 second-round pick, Nick Scorton. Now, if you remember, Nick Scorton he wasn't praised very well last season because of, the season before, because of his lack of production. But as you remember, I kept talking about Nick and his production at Purdue. I wasn't worried one bit about his production. And Nick proved everybody that they were wrong about him last year. Nick had a great season as a rookie in 2025. All right, my take on the Mesidor is this, man. He slid 6 spots. I had him ranked at 19. I slid him down to 25. on my board. Look, he still remains a locked-in first-round asset for a win-now franchise or win-now franchises, whoever decides to take him. He is not a developmental project at this point in his career. He is a pro-ready, power-end hybrid who sets a hard edge on first down before kicking inside to maul those guards. Twist, stunts, you name it. Roll him in on the 5-eye or, into the 3-tech. This guy can roll around on the front of a defensive line. While some fixate on his age, a lot of analysts fixate on his age. Look, I pay attention to his film grade, 92.5. Film grade for me. Diverse pass rush bag. Traits are of a 10-year vet. Like his bag is developed, man. It really is. He's an ultimate plug-and-play disruptor for a contender. So how does that fit for Detroit, right? I think it's a great fit for Detroit, honestly. Lance Zierlein, NFL.com, says Mesidor is an instinctive, high-effort rusher with a fluid rush style and deep toolbox. He bursts upfield. He can shrink the corner while punishing an oversetting tackle with an inside counter move. He strings moves together with effortless mid-rush adjustments, utilizes harmonious hands and feet to carve efficient tracks into the pocket. The talent and motor are obvious, but his age and the injury history could push some teams to discount his grade below what the tape shows. And that's probably the most important thing, right? Tape above all else. That's everything. Lastly, we'll finish with Field 8 on ESPN says the lingering concern with Mesidor is his age, but his pass rush bag is as deep as a 15-year vet. So we've heard 15 and 10, right? He's going to provide an immediate impact because he's physically fully developed. You can't beat that. A guy that's fully developed coming into the league. Oftentimes, you take a guy early and what happens? They have to sit and learn, and eventually, they become somebody. That's not going to be the case with Akheem Mesidor. So I would like to know from you, is Akheem Mesidor somebody you want to see in the Honolulu Blue? For me, I would say, if the Lions stuck at 17 and Akheem Mesidor's still there, look, he's not going to fall into the second round. There's an opportunity there for Akheem Mesidor to land in Detroit. However, I think that we all could agree offensive tackle is probably the most important need, right? Most important position. But Akheem Mesidor, he does a lot right. I don't care about the age factor. Look, you get him for one contract, and that might be all you need. The goal is to win a Super Bowl, and you need players that can help you get there, and Akheem Mesidor can help you get there. I am a little bit worried about the foot surgeries, the multiple foot surgeries, the injury history. And if he comes into the league, it could be a whole nother rash of injuries, right, that are not related to the feet, and so it wouldn't have mattered anyway. Let's just hope not. I believe in Akheem Mesidor. I think he's going to be a very talented defensive end at the next level. I think he projects well in a 4-3 scheme, but I also believe he's scheme versatile. So Akheem Mesidor, man, number 25 on Detroit Football Journal, DFSSports.com. Check it out, Detroit Football Journal. Get in there today. Get your 90-day free membership, DetroitFootballJournal.com. Thank you guys for joining me. Leave your comments below. Is Akheem Mesidor your pick at 17 for the Detroit Lions? Or if you're on another team, you tell us. Where does Akheem Mesidor fit for you in this year's draft? Thank you guys for joining me. I'm Will Rock with Rockdown Detroit Lions. You guys have a great night. Take care. Bye-bye.